Let's unmute that as well. Welcome to the show, August 26th, 2025. My name is Joey Ragona. Welcome to the Heart Centered Marketing Show. And I'm just going to look down here and make sure that we are all connected here on the Facebooks in the right way. And, I was having some streaming trouble trying to get onto the Instagrams, trying my first time to do that. That didn't work. I got this whole little arrow thingy or this warning sign. So hopefully I'm streaming to the right places other than looks like LinkedIn is broken, looks like Instagram is broken, but you are here. So thank you very much for that. Cool. Let's see, moving this here, and looks like I am good over here on the Facebook. So if you are in the Facebook group and you're here live with me, let me know with hashtag live or hashtag replay, or anywhere you're watching this, hashtag live, hashtag replay. Today I'm going to talk about some interesting things that came up today. I was in my mastermind group in the academy, and we did some stuff with AI inside of Notion. And I asked it, hey, listen, what are the top 5 challenges with my audience? Because I take a lot of data and I love analyzing stuff. And so I wanted to share what the top 5 challenges are, go through them and talk a little bit about them. And maybe you can identify with some of these. And if you have a question or feedback on any of them, let me know, put it in the chat. I would love to answer them. And this is also a great time to talk about this because we're coming up to the next Atlas for me, which is I think it's next week. So September 4th, we start the next Atlas. And a lot of this stuff has to do with the first phase, which is Calibrate. And I'm going to talk to you about that as well, because I'm going to do a workshop or whatever you want to call it to help you calibrate with your dream client. And I know that sounds really weird because a lot of people think that they know who their dream client is and what they solve. And every time we go through these exercises, the world opens up, their eyes open up. So if you want to join that, it's absolutely free. I'm going to be doing that. And all you got to do is put the word calibrate in the DM or in the chat, or DM me with the word calibrate, and I will set you up. Don't know when it's going to be yet because I just decided to do this like right now. It'll probably be early next week. Because where are we? No, actually, it might be even at the end of this week, but sometime in the very near future, the next couple of days. Let me know if you want to do that. So let me get into the top 5 challenges. Thank you, by the way, for the love. I see them coming through here. This first number 1 challenge, I got the notes here, are lo and behold, client attraction and lead generation. And this appears all the time. Every time I'm asking what is the biggest challenge, it is finding dream clients or finding clients to pay. They don't talk about dream clients yet, but clients to pay, and finding dream clients who can afford the program. I guess that's the same thing. The challenge is always about leads and growth and generating quality leads, lead gen, getting in front of people. See, there's a very common theme within that. And so when we talk about client attraction, I'm not a big fan of lead gen. Hey, Collie, good to see you. Good to be here with you as well. Thank you for being here live. Let me know if any of these resonate, or maybe what's your number 1 challenge in business and growth in marketing. Let me know in the chat. So, client attraction is always at the top of the list, and because we've been taught a lot about lead generation, like get as many leads as you can. You see a lot of people talk about this where they now have new systems, new AI systems, new automations that bring in 100 leads a minute and all these kind of things. I have never been a fan of leads. I don't want leads. I want to have conversations with potential dream clients. And what that does is it lowers the amount of people that are going to opt in or reach out to you or whatever it looks like. But those conversations are deeper, and there's a much higher chance that you're going to move that person into working with you. And the main thing is they're going to be inside your world. So when I hear the question or the problem about finding dream clients who can afford the program, it's about a messaging problem. And this is where the work needs to get done. So I'll come back to these in a second. I just want to go through them and share some insights on these. Number 2 is defining and finding the niche or niche, however you say it, tribe. So multiple mentions throughout the context or the data that I've got of defining and finding my tribe, dream clients, clarity, like who are they? Which is very cool because the Calibrate, that's the phase where we define really who your dream client is and what you do and what you solve. If you don't have that foundation, no matter what you do afterwards, any tactic you can think of or any copywriting stuff that you're doing. Um, what's going on here? We got an error message. Okay, well, I'm just going to keep going. Hopefully it's still live somewhere on the other places. It looks like some of my streaming uh, destinations are crashing on me. So where was I? Yeah, if you don't know who your dream client is and exactly what you are solving for them, no matter what you do afterwards, whether it's in the here's a sales script or here's a messaging DM messaging thing, it won't matter because you're not really speaking to the right person and you're not speaking to their true challenges of what they want. So finding the niche and the problems that they have is a big thing, and it's pretty easy to find what the problems are. The challenge with it is the timing involved with it or the investment that you're making into doing it. And what I always say is that once you define who the dream client is, who the person that you want to hang around with outside of making money from them is just people that you want to hang around with, then that opens up the conversations or opens up an area of that you can have conversations with people because it's not based on I have to convert, right? We all want to make money, put it aside for a second. But the fact is that if you gather some people into a group, or even if you're on a Zoom call or something like that, and it's not meant to sell, right? It's just there to have conversations. I'm sure that when you zoom out, or now that you have all the tools that can transcribe all the kind of things that are happening within the Zoom call, you can pick out patterns, use AI to pick out patterns, like have those conversations, invest the time. Before, when I started Atlas 5 years ago, it was a lot harder to pull out the patterns. And so the timing to do, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 25 conversations, up to 100 conversations would be, it would be something that people would repel. They would not want to do that because it's not fast enough in order for them to make money. Now it's so much easier because then obviously you had to go through all those transcripts and read it and try and find what the real problems are. But now with AI, it's so much easier because all you really have to do is invest the time, whether it's half an hour or maybe it's an hour of just having conversations about people's situations. And there's simple frameworks around how to just have conversations about that, like what questions to ask. Those are simple as long as it's not framed around, well, how am I going to sell these people? It's more of you being a detective to try to have conversations that you can then take the transcript, like I said, and put it into GPT and pull out what are the problems here? What's going on here? And then matching your superpowers to that. That's really the secret of it all. That's the whole system. That's the reason why I have all this data, because I can look at it and say, oh, okay, well, these are the top 5 things or 10 things, then, and these are the 2 things or the 1 thing that I do really, really well. And I'm going to center all of my my program around that. Okay, so number 3, marketing and getting the message out. This is a big one, right? Who doesn't have a problem with marketing and messaging? This is what they tell me. Marketing, what to offer, how much to price. I think we're going to talk about price in a second. So getting clear on my message, content marketing and message, figuring out what the most effective marketing is, and clear messaging and attracting the right clients. That goes back to attracting as well. It's always about attracting the right clients with the right message. And the right message comes from exactly what I just said to you, because if you have the conversations already in a group setting, or you're just brainstorming, you're just masterminding, right? Just talking and not trying to sell anything. Well, guess what? Those can turn into conversations. Again, when we use AI to pull out, hey, can you create posts around what we talked about here? Is there a recurring theme in here? Then that's your marketing message. And one of the best things that you can do is, once you start doing beta tests, which is one of the things that I highly recommend every time I walk people through Atlas, one of the first things is to just first of all pre-sell your program so that you're being paid to create it. And that's not a new strategy, but there are nuances to how to do it correctly. And it's not hard to do at all, but that's where the conversations again begin to happen even more, because people are paying you, you're creating the product with them. And here's the key: based on what their feedback is, or what they're struggling with, or what they're asking about, what they need more clarity on. Well, guess what? That's what your content is. That's what it's all about. You pull what you're training and you put that into content. So that's where the content marketing comes from. None of the stuff that I deal with is made up. It's all from the conversations. And now, because of the tools that we have, the AI, we can easily find the topics for content. The writing part of it and all that, that's a whole other discussion, because I don't want to get into that right now and go deep into, learning how to use or have AI amplify what you're doing, not replace what you're doing, right? Don't let it just write for you, but have it be that writing partner or editor. It's more of an editor than anything else. Number 4, top 5 is scaling and business growth. So here's what people talk about. These are just some of the quotes that I pulled out from my database. By the way, if you're here live, let me know with a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. I'd love that. And if you have a question, feedback, anything like that, let me know in the chat. So scaling and business growth is number 4. And this is about scaling businesses, one-to-one services and products. A lot of people want to go online because they are not online yet. They want to grow and scale. I hear this all the time about growing and scaling, and I want to come back to that scale word. Customer growth and keeping the customer flow growth constant. Let me talk about that one. Just after this one here, which is moving from individual services to scalable offerings. You see how that scale is always being mentioned? And I think that people want to scale way too early. And I even had a discussion today in my private mastermind about this. And one of my clients, she's just starting out doing a beta program, and already trying to scale, already trying to go into other areas to try and scale. I said, you got to slow down. Like, you haven't proven anything on this other side. And we're in total agreement. And that's what happens too fast. Even when somebody has a successful program, let's say, or they sell, $10,000, they think that it's proven. It's not. When I first did Atlas, I sold, I don't know, it was 18 or 20,000 the first time around, and it wasn't even created yet, it sounds like a success. And it is. I'm not downplaying it. It was a great success. However, that's not proof because those people were in my world already and they trusted me, and that's why they paid me. And so, yeah, I made some money on it, but it wasn't that this thing works. And even the second round of Atlas, there was still the mix of people who knew me, who paid a little bit more, and I made some money, and hey, it was starting to work. It was only until the third time when cold people or people who didn't know me before would come in and buy Atlas, and then they went through it and they were successful at it. That's when you begin to have some kind of success. I would say after the third round, when you have cold people or people who really didn't know you in the first place coming in and buying. So scaling too early is a big thing. But I understand that you want to grow and scale, or some people may want to grow and scale. But the first problem is letting go of the scale and doing what doesn't scale. And there's one of the big things about what doesn't scale is having those one-on-one conversations, whether that's in chats, email, one-on-one Zoom calls, whatever, instead of setting up a chat bot and getting hundreds of leads and letting the bot do the thing so you can get leads and try and sell them. Like, that's the scalable system. You might get to that point when you have a lot of clients or a lot of leads coming in or whatever. But at this point, when you're growing, you can have 20, 30 conversations simultaneously, because they're not all happening at the same time, but they're ongoing, right? Because you're not in a sales conversation. Eventually you may want to move it to that, but you're in just conversations to learn more about them, to help them, to serve and not sell. One of the 2 pillars that I always talk about. And that's what it's about. So doing the unscalable thing is your superpower right now, especially when you're first starting out. And let me move to number 5. Number 5 is getting started and overwhelm. This is a big one. And there's a lot of overwhelm. And even with the tools that we have at our fingertips right now, I predict that if not already, it'll be 10,000 times more, if not a million times more overwhelmed, because of the choices and decisions and opportunities that chats give us, that chatbots give us, the AI gives us. It's just a continuous, constant thing. Do you want me to do this? Do you want me to do that? How about this idea? What about this idea? And I'm overwhelmed. Like, I love information. I've always been that person. The more information, the better. And I love distilling it down. But man, when I'm in chats, I'm like, holy crap, you just got to stop, bro. Like, it's just, you just got to stop. Like, I got to make a decision here so I can see that this is going to be a problem in the future, in the very near future, if it's not already here. That means the people are telling me, this is some quotes from the database, that just starting out is a big problem. Where to start, which is, if you're asking GPT, if you're going in there and saying, here's the idea, where do I start? Man, I don't know, if you're going to get a lot of overwhelm. You're going to be even more, you know, confused about really what to do. This is why you need coaches, because they will guide you. If they're the right coach for you, they will guide you because they've been there already and they can help you make a decision. The AI doesn't know when to stop. The AI doesn't know when to say, okay, choose one of these and just go and come back and tell me what's going on. Other things that people are telling me is they're overwhelmed with where to start. Again, there's that where to start and what to do. Everything is a challenge for them and so much to learn. And that's so true. And I've been there. I know what it's like to be a beginner. I know what it's like to start, and there's so much to learn. But there comes a time where you need to just get started and look at just in time learning over just in case learning. And just in case learning is where you think you might need something in the future. And because you're doing it right now, you may as well, I'll just learn about Facebook ads, or I might learn about how to create custom GPTs or whatever. And you've never touched AI in your life. Those are just in case learning. And that's not what you need. You need just in time learning. What do I do right now? Or what do I need to do right now? And then I'll learn about that and then go execute. Because when you execute, then there's going to be another problem that you may or may not have the solution to or the knowledge. And that's, again, coming up with just-in-time learning. Oh, I need to learn this now. Okay, cool. So yes, you get to a point, you learn something, like take a course or whatever it is, read a book or two, and then go and execute. But the problem is everybody thinks that they're missing out on something, that whole FOMO thing. And it's continuously. And that's what AI is even creating more of fear of missing out. Oh, maybe I should do what you just suggested. Maybe I should do that. What else am I missing? And I'm not blaming anybody here. I'm not pointing any fingers, because I've been down that rabbit hole multiple times. Like, that sounds like a really great idea. Because I'm so curious about what else you can do or what else can happen, I'm always pressing that, yes, let's go. And I end up hours and hours and hours into one chat, and when all I wanted was, hey, can you look at this thing and maybe help me edit this a little bit better so it's cleaned up and tighter? And then they end up down these other rabbit holes. So there you go. Those are the 5 things that really come up in my world all the time, which is client attraction and lead generation, defining and finding the niche, marketing and getting the message out, scaling and business growth, and getting started in overwhelm. And this is really cool because when I looked at these problems, I wanted to share with you the 3 phases, or the 3 core phases of Atlas, and why it's important and why we do these things. And like I said, I'm going to do a Calibrate workshop to help you see how to get aligned, because Calibrate is all about getting aligned, defining who you are, who you serve, and the urgent problem you solve. So the action in that Calibrate phase, what we do there is we aim every step at the right person with the right offer. Now, I'm going to show you within 10 minutes, within 20 minutes, that how to refine whatever you are saying right now in the market. I help XYZ do XYZ. So I'm going to show you how to reshape that very, very quickly in the Calibrate, just so you can get a feel of like how much you may or may not be off on your messaging, or how you can reframe things to really attract the people that you want. Again, if you want to come to this, I don't know when it's going to be. I haven't decided, because I just decided to do it now. But in the next couple of days, put Calibrate, and I'll reach back out to you and I'll say, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's the day and the time. So put Calibrate in the chat or DM me the word Calibrate. The second phase of Atlas is about connect. This is where you build trust. You go where your dream clients are. So this is about, we just talked about this, like, where are they? How do I get to them? Where do I find them? Where do I get the leads? And this is where you go where dream clients are. You engage, you create safe spaces for conversation. And this is what I'm talking about, the safe spaces, because you've probably been in DMs or conversations where it quickly turns to a pitch. And that's not what I'm talking about. The whole idea in times of my DM conversations, which is where most of it happens, is to create that safe space. And that safe space could take, it doesn't matter the amount of time for me, as long as that person feels safe in having the conversation. maybe it will turn into a sales conversation or a sales invite in the future. But the whole point is to let me make you feel safe, that I'm listening to you, that I'm understanding who you are, what you're all about. And hey, if there's a connection, if you feel something here and you want to work together, let me know. We can talk about that too. I think I saw a comment coming up here. Cully, 1 second. There we go. Okay. Joe, you were so brilliant, and what you told me and others on your calls during the Kajabi presentations, and that someone is always watching. Yes, and they are. No matter how much AI in our lives, it still comes down to, oh, this thing keeps disappearing every time I try to read it. To one-on-one human contact, and have often said, so love and soul hugs. Yes, that's exactly right. It's true. We don't know who's watching, and the biggest way, or the best way, in my opinion, to market and to sell is demonstration. And whether you're right in front of somebody demonstrating what you can do and helping them and showing them, but also it's the invisible people that you're demonstrating to. Like right now, there might be 100 people watching this. There might be one person watching this. I know at least for one. So Colleen's here, right? Or there may be 1,000 or 10,000. I don't know. And this is demonstration of, this is the way I think. This is what I talk about. And the best way you can do this is by sharing exactly your knowledge, your opinions, and all that. And finally, the third part of the Atlas core, or the Atlas OS, is communicate. And this is the sales part. This is the, like, how do you make sales? How do you show up and communicate your value in a way that doesn't feel pushy or marketing? By the way, connect is the marketing piece, right? That's where do I get out and how do I do the marketing? But the communicate is you earn the yes. And that's a completely different thing than pushing someone to say yes. So you share your offer clearly. I'm not saying never offer something, but you address what matters most to them. And that's what you need to understand, because most of the time when I see someone offering things, it's always about them. It's always about their product, how many modules, that kind of thing. But when you turn that around and make it all about the person and what matters most to them, you invite them in without pressure. And this is where you lead the conversation so that saying yes feels natural. And that's why when you create that safe space in the connection phase, then the right people at the right time on their timeline, by the way, which is pillar number 3, will turn up and just say yes to whatever you offer them. This is how I've been doing it for the last 5 years. And every time I offer something, it doesn't feel salesy. They never feel pressure. And I don't feel really bad about saying, here's the thing that you can work with me on if you'd like to. And the sales have never been easier. Whereas before, it used to be about trying to convince somebody, you need Atlas, or you need whatever, or you need to, join Academy. And that doesn't work. At least in my world, it doesn't work. So there you go. If you want to join me on the Calibrate workshop, or whatever I'm going to call it, we'll spend, an hour together. I will completely change your message. We can't do the entire thing, but I promise you, within 20 minutes, you will have a breakthrough message that will freak you out. Every time I've done this with people, it makes them emotionally bonded to their message, like never before. And I know that because it happens again and again and again, and I want to share that with you. And maybe, hey, you might like what's going on and you might inquire about Atlas, and that would be cool. If not, I'm just going to give you the value, and you're going to see how fast you can change things, and then maybe work on some stuff yourself. So all you got to do is put the word Calibrate into the message, into the comments, or DM me the word Calibrate, and I'll get all the details to you, and I hope to see you there. All right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here on Heart Center Marketing for another Tuesday night, and I'll see you next week.